Hi everybody and welcome to Indigo Sky Holistic. I'm Davina Ketson. I'm the face behind Indigo Sky Holistic and I am an energy healer, an intuitive, holistic mentor and many other things as well as that. I bring all of those cards to the table when I am speaking because many things come out of the fields when I start to share. So I'm here today to share a little bit about EFT, or emotional freedom technique, or often called tapping, which is one of the primary tools that I bring to the table when my clients come in to see me with anything really from their physical situations right through to emotional health issues, addictions, eating disorders, even pain and processing anxieties or life experiences that they're just lost and stuck with and are looking for ways out with. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about EFT, its origins, where it comes from, and why I feel it is such a key piece of helping clear emotions as a gentle approach to emotional clearing. I use other tools as well I've created through my Reiki experience and energy healing experiences, and my intuition and connection to the quantum field and the Akashic records. But EFT is still a really foundational piece that I bring to the table for my clients because it's easy to understand and it's been pretty much proven to be effective for psychology and for mental wellness as well. So EFT, as I say, stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. It's a process where you tap on acupressure points around the face and body that help to move the energy, the chi, the prana, the energy that is understood and has been understood for thousands of years by humans, by healers, medicine men and women, shamans, but has been kind of neglected in its understanding in Western medicine for maybe about 100, 150 years. But that energy is very real. Science backs it up. There's lots of studies being done into how that energy feels and looks and how it's measurable. If you have ever come across an EEG or an ECG, electrocardiogram or electroencephalogram, I think that's the right words, brain checking the electromagnetic waves in the brain or in the heart, that is what they're measuring with those devices. And with those devices now, they don't actually do EEGs without anything actually touching the head, because that's where our energy field can be felt. So this is something that as a Reiki practitioner, a Reiki master, I am connected to and aware of everyday life. Time and again, I just can feel that energy, tap into it, tune into it and utilize it to support people, to support myself, to support things, even situations, times, spaces, the energies around us all the time. Everything that we ever touch, everything that we ever see or feel, that energy is a part of it. So EFT is helping that energy to move and flow in the same way that actually acupuncture does. And acupuncture has been used for thousands of years. It's well understood in Chinese medicine. It's even used in Western medicine by certain practitioners, GPs, doctors, consultants. There are some people who are aware enough of that energy in Western medicine to utilize it and know that it's a benefit to their patients, clients. I have got a few notes here just to help me stay a little bit on track. But EFT, it's non-invasive and it's gentle-ish. Sometimes it can get a little bit emotional because we are playing with and supporting the emotional energy to move through the body. So if you do EFT with myself, with YouTube videos, or with another practitioner, it can bring up some really uncomfortable feelings. It can often get to the root of something that we didn't even realise was an issue. I use EFT every single day, and I use similar videos every single day, not my own, but an EFT practitioner who I've been following for years and years and years. And when I'm doing EFT for myself, I just like to listen to somebody else's words rather than try and channel it for myself, unless I've got a really specific thing that I'm tuning into. And sometimes I'll go off piste with the EFT video that I'm watching and just tap a few things through myself because something comes up. But that's the beauty of EFT, and that's something that I really try to teach my clients and students when they come into me, is how to use the words that you may be following along in a video with to tailor them to your own situation, because EFT does work really, really well at its best when you're using your specific thoughts, feelings, situations, body to tune into where the energy is and where it needs to move. EFT is a relatively modern process, holistic process, emotional and mental health process. It did have its introduction in the 1990s, and it stemmed from a psychotherapist who was working with a woman who had phobia. Now, EFT is really good with phobias. I've used other aspects of emotional clearing to help support myself through phobias, arachnophobia being the most significant one that I've cleared and released, to the point that I could hold a tarantula when we had a visit from a wildlife education workshop that came to visit. And this woman had hydrophobia, and they were at a bit of a loss, the practitioner and herself, as to how they tried. He tried all of his tools that he already had at his disposal, and he was still struggling. She was at water and really struggling to find a way to get to the root of where this water phobia came from. He was a clinical psychologist. I've got my notes. And his name was Roger Callahan. So he'd been treating this woman for 18 months, and he was trying to get to the bottom of what the cause was. And while this woman was terrified of water, even like things that were everyday things like bathing her children, having a shower, were really uncomfortable for her. And he was at a loss to all of his techniques that his like psychology training had taught him about. He was hitting a brick wall with. But he also had knowledge and awareness of Eastern medicine. And one of the times while he's got this woman with some water, trying to use some techniques to help her with it, he just asked like what was going on for her physically. And she began to explain what was going on for her physically. He remembers his knowledge on Eastern medicine, associates the acupuncture points or the acupressure points on the body that connected in with the body parts that she was complaining were causing her discomfort. Got her to rub on those points, and the rest is history. It basically cured her for hydrotherapy. He was amazed, he was gobsmacked, and he created the precursor to EFT to support people through things like phobias, other psychiatric issues that he was dealing with. But it was a complicated process that he created, and then it was decided that, and I think he had it trademarked as well at the time, and he eventually it was eventually evolved into the process that we have and call EFT today. And this process is something that is very well understood by many different types of practitioners in fields of like not just severe mental health issues, but it is used by Reiki practitioners, it is used by coaches, it's used by cognitive behavioural therapists, different kinds of therapists, counsellors, psychiatrists, lots and lots of different fields within health and wellness use EFT as a process to support people with their mental state and their mental well-being. But what is it and how does it work? So it's a way of beginning to voice your thoughts and feelings to support you in releasing your emotions, to move through a feeling of being uncomfortable into something that feels lighter and better and more supportive. And through that clearing process, we can gain clarity on our needs or our emotions or our emotional history that we're maybe not able to tap into because all we're doing is cycling the same stuff around over and over in our heads of like fears or anxieties or worries or whatever. But when we vocalize things, this is why things like talking therapies have a foundation of help in them, because when we speak about things, even if it's just talking to a friend, you get things off your chest, then you can actually sometimes get a bit of clarity comes into your own mind about your solutions. The difficulty sometimes with sharing that with somebody else, maybe a close friend or partner or somebody who knows us, is that they may try to filter back to us through their lens a solution. And solutions based on other people's lenses are not what we're looking for. You have the answers inside you for what it is that's troubling you, for your situation, for your fears, your worries, your anxieties, your money worries, your inability to achieve a career goal, your messy home, pain, all of those things. You have the answers inside of you, but we block what those answers are and how we tune into them because of the worry and the holding on of the stress and anxiety within us. Even pain is released when we do this process, because sometimes the pain is actually stuck energy that we're holding on to because we're holding parts of ourselves really, really tense, and the electrons that running through our body that are this energy can't flow well, and so we'll get pain in the neck or in the back or in a muscle or in a joint because the energy is not flowing freely and fully. So when we vocalize things, that in itself helps things, the clarity side of things to come. And then when we start tapping on these acupressure points that were basically honed down to the right acupressure points to help be simple, easy to remember, easy to access, and easy to use for anybody and everybody. Even, you know, if you're sat in an office meeting, there is things that you can do to just tap your fingertips under the table to help calm yourself. And I think this is why certain neurodivergent people practice stimming to help release energy and control their state of mind and their well-being, because this in itself, this kind of stimming, is actually tapping acupressure points that are helping the energy move. So these acupressure points that we're tapping on, we help the energy move, we help the energy flow, and we vocalize our worries, our concerns, and we begin to move them through the body, and we begin to let them go. Now, one of the things that often gets said is, but within mindfulness practices or spiritual practices along law of attraction type things, we're not supposed to talk about the negative things. The only thing with that is that then usually makes us internalize them instead. If we're so afraid to talk about the negative things that we're feeling and the situations that we've got going on in our lives, we actually are inclined to be internalizing them. And what actually happens when we vocalize them and we go like, I'm really scared for this situation that I'm in, or I'm really worried about this situation, or why do I not have any money, or why is my house a mess? When we start to tap on a point and we start to vocalize these things, and we can tune into self-love, self-acceptance, honoring where we are at right now, we can begin to clear and release them. We're letting it go. We're genuinely letting those emotions go that we're not that we're feeling, that we don't want to admit we're feeling, and we can let them go. And that's the beauty of EFT. So that's how it works. That's what it is. That's how it works. It's got its basis in really deep clinical psychiatry. It's got its roots. It's been used now for, I can't do maths, 30 odd years, to support people in all aspects of life, from everything. Like I said, its foundations are in phobia. It's brilliant for addiction. It's brilliant for fears and worries, anxieties. My initial introduction to it was get $1,000. It was a friend. This is 15 years ago. My history goes back with EFT about 14 and a half, nearly 15 years. When I had my middle baby, one of my friends, who's a psychic and intuitive herself, sent me this EFT video. I said, I'm doing this. It was American, it was dated now, it was quite cheesy, but it was tapping points and affirming that money is coming and money can come to me easily. And that was that. I used that. I can't remember now whether I actually achieved getting $1,000 or like what, it's 700, 800 pounds, whatever $1,000 is. I think I tapped for £1,000 actually. I can't remember if I actually achieved that in the 30 days or something that I was doing this, but looking back and now knowing how easily it actually is for me to have £1,000 come to me when I don't realise it, I probably easily got £1,000 and more coming to me from doing that for 30 days regularly and consistently. Now I use it to help me to maintain my energy levels, to support me if I'm feeling lack of motivation, if I'm feeling unsupported in my own system, in my own environment, to support me with stress or worry, to help me get on top of my decluttering my home, and to even attract clients, attract money, income, and get clarity of mind to sort me like what I should be doing next in a project or in an area. And that's it. It's a beautiful technique. It's something that I come back to time and again because it's a lot less emotionally triggering, in that sometimes when I go deeper with long-standing clients on something that's like an old story, child upbringing, abuse situations, things that have led to addiction or eating disorders or something like that, that can bring up really deep emotions. And when I go into those in a container, in a private container with them, I'm using energy healing processes, activations, tuning into spirit and guides and channeling for them. And that's a very different thing that often takes more one-to-one connection and support with, whereas EFT, you can do that on your own. You can find lots of EFT videos for free on my YouTube or on my website. I've got like a little EFT portal on my website that you can get into access for free. Or there is a paid portal as well on my website where you can get a longer form videos that give you a bit of a discussion on what we're tapping on, and which also give you a longer form tapping video where we can go through a little bit more of, like, because the aim with EFT is to get ourselves from feeling like something is really stuck and horrible to feeling like we can take on the world and we can solve everything, and truly I think that we can when we tap into that energy and the source energy, the divine light that we have within us. I really think that the solutions present themselves. It takes trust, it takes surrender, and it takes a lot of inner trust to get to that point. And that is what I'm here for. If you would like any support with any of the things I've mentioned, you can, of course, book to have a chat with me. We can have a free 20-minute chat, or you can book in for one of my consultations. And with all of that being said, have a beautiful day, much love, and keep shining. And I will see you again in another video very soon. Bye.